Hello, everybody. For the library, a larger number of foreigners settling down in Slovenia represented an opportunity to take the initiative and help them with their integration and also begin to bring all these different people from around the world closer to young users. For adults, we have a great project led by Mr. Marko Lakovic, The World Upon Us. In my short speech, I will present multicultural practice project which the Prežihov Voranc Library has been implementing for several years now. The project is primarily for young people because the library wants to attract, inform, and educate them in a fun and interactive way. So I will focus a little bit more on this group of users. The aim of the project is to get to know foreign countries and cultures in the world, to respect cultural diversity, to promote solidarity and coexistence with other and different people. Last but not least, the goal is also the promotion of Slovenia, our culture, subcultures, Ljubljana and ourselves to foreign citizens. Modern plural societies face many forms of racism, xenophobia, and other forms of discrimination and intolerance, which in the vast majority of cases are related to immigrants and minorities and those who in one or another way do not belong to the majority population or are inconsistent with the majority population. Societies must seek to reconcile legitimate demands for unity and diversity, to achieve political unity without cultural conformity, to achieve inclusion without violent assimilation. They must cultivate a sense of belonging among citizens and at the same time respect their cultural differences and develop the plurality of cultural identities without weakening the accepted and important identity of common citizenship. Within the school curriculum, students learn about the role and importance of national identity, community life, and basic principles of democratic political order, human rights, and tolerance. As our colleague Mrs. Simona Resman pointed out, we must be aware that young people are also future opinion leaders and decision makers in Slovenian society and people who will also make decisions about libraries. And we librarians try to bring the library as close as possible to them and keep them in it. Recent research by Andrej Kirbiš and Monika Lamut on cultural participation of young people in Slovenia offers an insight into the cultural participation of young people and their role in modern information digital society. Based on these results, it will be possible to formulate the policies with the aim of encouraging and involving young people in cultural activities and enabling the most equal access to culture in Slovenia and Europe. As mentioned before, adolescents can associate visits to cultural institutions mainly with education. In order to promote cultural promotion, it is important that young people perceive cultural activities as leisure activities. Young people who are more culturally involved show higher social tolerance. So we see cultural participation is also associated with more pro-social behavior. It is important to strengthen cultural participation and cultural engagement, to encourage reading books and point out that reading books is leisure activity that can be done at home while offering contact with other cultural contexts. So, as we can see, various extracurriculum activities, such as the multicultural practice, can offer young people many opportunities to get to know a modern democratic society and understand foreign countries and different people. In its program, Multicultural Praktik presents to young audience the cultures of different countries with a language course, presentation of folk songs or fairy tales that are characteristic for the country, presentation of toys, customs, celebrations, dishes, art, or science. With its program, it covers the field of culture in a broader sense. We try in connection always with literature. We try to offer young people quality and interesting content, as well as we try to present high culture as an universal activity, as well as popular culture. We attempt to show them that culture can offer people a lot, including relaxation and knowledge. So we always include topics that are familiar to young people, in which they can identify in a fun and relaxed way. With this project, the library has crossed its physical boundaries more precisely. The project is also carried out in other locations physically, and it tries to go where potential young users socialize, so also virtually. In carrying out trainings and activities, we focus on cooperation with international and national educational, governmental or non-governmental institutions and associations, such as embassies, faculties, international primary schools, and international gymnasiums and others. There are several international schools, primary schools in Ljubljana and one secondary school. In addition to international schools, there are some students also citizens of other countries in Slovenian schools. In cooperation with the external contractors, topics are selected and defined. Then events are promoted on our website and social media. And I must mention, when carrying out any event, we prepare also book and not non-book material. As we saw on video, workshops and lectures take place in the Prežihovoren's library, more precisely in the exhibition hall, where all equipment for professional implementation of workshops and lectures and events related to multicultural practice is available. On video, we saw an insight into exhibition hall with activities that represented France. I must mention also that multicultural practice does not only focus on lectures by foreigners, but also invites externally verified quality providers who carry out activities for children and youth to participate to events. Also due to enrichment of the offer and the risk not finding enough interested participants. We also attempt to involve interested volunteers. Librarian Maya Shipman is co-creating a project with me, and she is the author of videos we watch. Before the project takes place, me and Mrs. Shipman try to announce it to the audience in advance, and as previously said, we advertise it with teasers and short introductory videos. In our case, when we presented Croatia, we set up an exhibition about Veronika Deseniška based on a legend about Veronika with the castles of Croatian Zagorje. It is important to note that she was an inspiration to many Croatian and Slovenian artists. We also encouraged users to go to visit castle on their own and research the legend. On the last video we will watch, you will easily see the activities in those few days when we presented Croatia. We know that a lot of youngsters listen to hip-hop, and we show a documentary about origins of hip-hop in Slovenia. Then they forged rhythms with contemporary artists and tried to rap them. We always organize intergenerational mornings and prepare activities as we saw before when we presented France, and we carry out bibliopedagogical activities. Curator from Castle Veliki Tabor, Mrs. Kristina Pavlović, was also carried out pedagogical activities and had a lecture about for adults about this mysterious woman. Last year we presented Brazil since it was the International Year of the Plants. We have even more crossed the boundaries of the library, physically and virtually, due to an epidemiological situation. The program was very rich. Nevertheless, the project was carried out as a whole. Despite the situation, we managed to adapt to the situation and realized that for the implementation of activities and advertising, virtual space can be just as important as physical in certain circumstances. So we'll be searching the new approach how to show youngsters curiosities of the world and other countries. Thank you very much for your attention, and goodbye.